Hello dear students, welcome to Devika's Commerce and Management Academy, Income Tax. This is the third class. In the first class we have discussed about introduction of income tax. Second class, types of income tax, direct tax we have discussed. Now today we will see indirect tax. Income tax is two types, direct tax, indirect tax. Direct tax we have seen in depth. Now what is this indirect tax? Direct tax, if you know indirect tax definition is quite easy. What is direct tax? Whenever a person is earning any income on that, when government is imposing or taxing some kind of tax, that is direct tax. That cannot be transferred. That person assessee, he has to pay the tax. Now here indirect tax, it is not like that. Suppose say indirect tax is like a person who is earning income, but he need not to pay the tax directly to the government. He need not to pay that tax. He can throw it on somebody else. Means this tax is transferable. Transferable tax. That is why we say it as a indirect tax. Definition we'll see. So the definition is here, indirect tax, a tax which is imposed by the government on a particular person, but that person can transfer the burden of tax to another person, is known as indirect tax. Confused? Nothing to worry. So I have to pay tax, but my tax is imposing on someone. Transferring my tax on someone. How I am transferring? Suppose say I am a production manager or I am a manufacturer. I want to sell the products. On my products, and during this process of manufacturing, I may have to pay some tax, but the tax I am imposing on the customers. I am including the tax during the manufacturing of my products, means I am not paying it. So indirectly I am throwing the tax on the consumers. Until it reaches to the consumers, everything is included, so I am not worried. That is, we call it as the indirect tax. There are different kinds of indirect tax, forms of indirect tax we can see. So 4 types of indirect tax. First one is that excise duty. Excise duty means it is on the products, it's on the production of goods for home consumption. For home consumption point of view, if I purchase any kind of production of goods, so on that I have to pay some tax, that is called as excise duty. Example shall I tell you? Say I want to buy gold ornaments. I went to gold shop, purchase some gold. On that I have to pay excise duty. They'll be asking you, shall I give you bill or not? Not means they'll give you their internal bill, but not official bill. When they have to produce the official bill, on that I have to pay some tax. So that is why whatever goods we are purchasing, on that government is imposing some kind of tax. That goods are for home consumption. Home consumption point of view, when you purchase the goods, on that whatever tax we are paying, that is excise duty. Are you getting it? It's very clear. And you cannot escape from this excise duty. When you purchase it, on that definitely they are going to add that this is the excise duty you have to pay. Second one is that value added tax. VAT we say. When VAT was introduced, there was a lot of agitation in our country, because VAT is such a tax that from the production to it reaches to the consumer, there are different stages. Are you getting it? Production, manufacturing is at one level. So this is the manufacturing level. And until it reaches to the customer, customer is Z. Till that period there are many levels. So a manufacturing person, he has to purchase the material, then he has to export some goods or import some goods, then after that he has to do some kind of amendments, changes, purchasing assets or selling assets, like different stages are there. Every stage they have to pay some tax. Value added tax, that is why we say every stage they have to pay tax. Means when they are paying at every stage tax, until it reaches A to Z, means production manager to customer, until it reaches to the customer, there are different stages where they are paying the tax. Means entire burden is on customer. Entire burden is on customer. So that is why this is the more burden on customer, not on production company or not on any kind of manufacturing companies. All are cool. Whatever they are paying, everything is they are going to impose on the customer only. That is why we say it as a value added tax is more dangerous and more burden on the customer, not on the manufacturers. Okay. So this is another form of indirect tax. And third form of indirect tax is that custom duty. Custom duty is related to those companies who are involved in exporting and importing their goods with other countries. If you are exporting, pay custom duty. Importing something from other country, you have to pay tax. That is, we say it as a custom duty. You cannot escape this, because custom duty is at exporting and importing where it is happening, where that transportation is taking place, there only they are going to charge, they are going to catch the goods. So there is no question of evading, or there is no question of escaping from this tax. And another one is that sales tax. Whenever a person is selling any goods, or that sales tax will be there. That sales tax is the burden on the customer, not on the seller. So these are the four ways. So that is why whenever indirect tax is there, indirect taxes, there are very less chances to escape. They can't evasion of this indirect tax compared to the direct tax. Direct tax is tax directly on that person whatever income he is earning. But now here he is not paying from his pocket, he is throwing that burden on some other person. So they feel comfortable to pay, they don't want to escape, they don't want to take any pain, because the tax is going to pay by another person. Means both are same, both are not same, sorry, both are not same. So tax is on some person but paying by another person. Both are different, but their indirect tax both are same. Are you able to remember forms of indirect tax? One is excise duty on the production of goods for home purpose, and value added tax, VAT, and custom duty and sales tax. Let's see the advantages. Excuse me. So merits or advantages. What are the advantages? First one is that convenience. Convenience to the, especially for the government. They can charge easily. So this kind of taxes they can catch at the manufacturing level, and where the exports imports are happening, and all these things they can catch at the root level only. So this is very much comfortable and convenience to charge the tax, and government will get this handsome amount of this tax. So that is why we say it is inconvenience. And second one is that highly productive. Highly productive in the sense, here whenever they have to pay the tax, indirect tax, in any of these forms, in any of this form, when someone has to pay the indirect tax, so this is highly productive. They cannot escape, they have to pay, and the amount will be in high amount, not less amount. Direct tax will be definitely always less, but here it will be large amount. On large amount they are going to charge the tax, and tax amount also will be a lot. So that is why it is highly productive, and most of the governments are getting their income from the indirect tax, not from the direct tax. Indirect tax is much useful, and through that they can gain a lot of income, which is useful for the development of the country. And the third one is that minimum evasion. As I told you, the government is catching at the root level only through all this tax. Evasion is not possible, no one can escape it, they have to pay. So unless they pay it, they can't go ahead for their production and for their exercise and for their activities of the business. It is not possible. So that is why minimum evasion is possible, where in direct tax possibility of evasion, because they are paying directly from their pocket. Here they are not paying from the pocket. So they have to make it everything clear. They don't want to take any kind of risk from the government, from the income tax department. That is why they are paying, they will pay because of such rules. Minimum evasion is possible. And next thing is that wide coverage. Wide coverage means it is covering all kind of people. All kind of people. High income people, low income people, everyone is equal at indirect tax level. you are doing business. Your business may be small or big or millennium business, whatever maybe you are doing, but you are supposed to pay the indirect tax. So that is why wide coverage, all kind of people are covered in this indirect tax. It means when we are covering all kind of people, then automatically income will be more for the government. Government income will increase a lot. They can catch all the people. So less group of income, they'll pay less. Whose activities are more, they have to pay more. So like this, these are the merits. And let's see the demerits. Demerits are here. First of all, uncertainty. The rules and regulations will be always changing, especially in indirect tax. So that is more uncomfortable, especially those who do not have much knowledge about this excise duty and whatever tax they have to pay, like VAT and all these things, who do not have much knowledge. For them it is more uncomfortable. So that is why we can say uncertainty. Next one is that violation of ability to pay principal. Violation of ability means some people wanted to do some kind of things like violation of ability, why we have to pay. So there is a wide coverage of people are there. When wide coverage of people are there, here violation also will be there, because a small income group people also included in this, where high income, big range of MNCs like millennium companies are there, they are ready to pay. But small groups, they always try to violate it because their income is very less. They wanted to escape. Another thing is that inflationary in nature. What is inflation? When prices are continuously increasing, that we call it as a inflation. When we are charging this kind of indirect taxes at different level, automatically what is making impact on the price of the goods? The price of the goods are increasing. When someone is charging tax, so the manufacturer or the production company, they always include that and they'll tell the price of the goods. So at that level always prices will be increasing, as I told you, this VAT. Not only VAT, the other things also there. So this is automatically going to increase the inflation. Cost of the price is going to increase. When cost of the price is going to increase, who is going to suffer? Middle class people and lower middle class people, below average people, below average income people. These people are the sufferers. So this is one of the demerit of indirect tax. Another thing is that high cost of collection. Always remember, compared to direct tax, indirect tax is high cost. They charge a lot. It doesn't matter for the big income, huge income group companies, but small income group companies or small scale industries, they are having this kind of problem, because government is charging on various activities, every stage they are charging this tax at different forms. So that is going to make impact on high cost of collection, which is the burden for a middle class people, or you can say it as a small scale industries. These are the demerits. You can take a screenshot or note down. Hope you got a very good understanding about what is income tax and what types of taxes are there, what is indirect tax, what is direct tax, forms of direct indirect tax, their merits and demerits. Somewhat understanding you got. Now we can go ahead for the depth of this income tax chapters a lot. Now please remember, my dear students, every class is important, don't skip, and after the class please refer your textbook and understand something, so that before exams it will be easy for you to refer. For your kind information, there are many subjects which already covered in our channel. Check out the playlist and don't forget to share these videos. Practice well, have a bright future. Good luck.